Have you ever felt like your life was moving, but you weren't? Like everyone else around you had a plan, a path, a purpose, and you were just waking up each day hoping something, anything, would finally make sense? Because that was me. People saw the smile on my face, but no one knew the war happening inside. Every morning, I would stare at the mirror and whisper, maybe today will be different. But by night, the same heaviness returned. I wasn't failing. I wasn't lost. I was just tired. Tired of pretending I had everything under control. Tired of chasing deadlines, expectations, and the invisible pressure that slowly suffocates you without making a sound. And the scary part, I didn't even realize I was disappearing. One day, I looked up myself, really looked, and I saw someone who was trying so hard to keep up with the world that she forgot who she used to be. That moment broke me, but maybe breaking wasn't the end. Maybe it was the beginning of something else, something real. Because sometimes quitting is not weak. Sometimes quitting is the only way to find yourself again. So here's the truth, my truth, and maybe a part of yours too. You know, people think breakdowns happen suddenly, like one big dramatic moment where everything falls apart. But mine didn't happen like that. My breakdown came quietly. It started with little things, ignoring messages, forgetting meals, staring at my laptop for hours, doing nothing, telling everyone I'm fine, even though my voice sounded like a lie. Then came the job, a place where growth was promised, but pressure was guaranteed, where you're expected to be perfect, even when you're barely holding yourself together. Every day felt like a test, not of my skills, but of how long I could pretend to be okay. Deadlines, meetings, targets, smiles, repeat. I kept telling myself, just push a little more. Everyone is tired, everyone struggles. But deep down, I was not struggling. I was drowning. And the worst part, nobody noticed. Because I was the strong one, the girl who always handled everything, the girl who never said I can't. But inside, I was slowly breaking into pieces I didn't know how to hold anymore. Until one night, around 2 a.m., I closed my laptop, stared at the ceiling, and whispered to myself, is this really the life I want? That question didn't scare me. The answer did. I thought things couldn't get any harder. But then, life had another twist waiting for me. You know that moment when you feel like you've figured everything out, and suddenly, the ground beneath you shifts. Yeah, that happened to me. And it changed everything I thought I knew about myself. After everything I had been through, the late nights, the endless stress, trying to balance expectations, I realized I wasn't just tired. I was lost. I started doubting myself, asking, am I really doing what I'm meant to do? Or am I just chasing someone else's idea of success? That day, I decided to step back. I didn't have a plan yet, but I needed a break from the chaos. I took a walk, away from all notifications, all messages, just me and my thoughts. And for the first time in months, I felt a tiny spark, like maybe I could rebuild things differently. Maybe, just maybe, I could start over without fear. As I walked, memories of my journey came flooding back, the little victories, the failures, the people who believed in me even when I didn't believe in myself. I realized I had been so focused on the end goal that I forgot to notice how far I had come. That spark inside me began growing into a small flame of hope. That day felt like the beginning of something new, a story that wasn't about rushing, but about finding myself again. And trust me, the next chapter, it's where everything starts to change. I started noticing things I hadn't before: the sound of the wind against my window, the way sunlight hit my desk, the laughter of people who didn't even know how much they were inspiring me just by being themselves. It felt strange, almost uncomfortable, to slow down. But for the first time, I realized I wasn't running from anything. I was finally looking. And that looking, It changed everything. I began asking questions I had avoided for years. What do I actually want? What makes me feel alive? What would I do if no one was watching, judging, or expecting? And with every answer, I felt layers of pressure lift, tiny at first, then heavier, until I could breathe again. I started small. A book I always wanted to read. A walk without my phone. A conversation with someone who actually listens. I let myself feel, really feel, without guilt. And slowly, the weight inside me began to feel lighter. It wasn't an overnight miracle. It wasn't a sudden transformation. But it was real. And that's what mattered. I realized that life isn't about racing towards some invisible finish line. It's about the pauses, the quiet moments, the rediscovery of who you are when no one else is looking. And in that stillness, I found something unexpected: courage. Courage not to keep up, not to perform, not to hide. Courage to be me, even if it meant changing everything I thought I had to keep. That's when I knew my story wasn't ending, it was just beginning. And what happened next? Well, that's a story for the chapter where I finally start living on my own terms. I won't lie, it wasn't easy. Some days, the old heaviness tried to creep back in. Some nights, doubts whispered louder than my courage. But I learned something important. Life doesn't demand perfection. It demands honesty with yourself. I started setting boundaries. I started saying no without guilt. I started trusting my own pace, my own choices, my own voice, and slowly, the fear that once controlled me began to fade. Quitting the chaos wasn't weakness, it was clarity. Walking away from what didn't serve me opened doors I didn't even know existed. I discovered passions I had buried, dreams I had forgotten, and a strength I didn't know I had. Looking back now, I realized that breaking wasn't the end. It was the beginning of something bigger, something real, something that finally felt like me. So, if you're watching this and feel lost, tired, or invisible, know this: it's okay to pause. It's okay to step back. It's okay to put yourself first. Because the path to finding yourself isn't about doing more, it's about being more, truly, fully, unapologetically you. And one day, when you finally listen to yourself, when you finally honor your own story, you'll see that everything you thought was an ending was actually a new beginning. Your story isn't over. It's just getting started.